Hi, this is Marsha.
And this is Kelly.
We are the 2U's of 2U's Fiber Adventures. Thanks for stopping by.
You'll hear about knitting, spinning, dyeing, crocheting, and just about anything else we can think of as a way to play with string.
We blog and post show notes at 2usfiberadventures.com.
And we invite you to join our 2U's Fiber Adventures group on Ravelry. I'm 100 Projects.
And I am Better in Motion.
We're both on Instagram and Ravelry, and we look forward to meeting you there.
Enjoy the episode.
Hey, Marsha, you're back.
Hi, Kelly. I am back. Woohoo! Yes, I'm back in town. I mentioned in the last episode I was going to Oaxaca, Mexico, and I just got back on Sunday, the 18th. And I had a fantastic time.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I didn't give you much time before I said, okay, Marsha, we need to record.
I know. I'm trying to get back to normal. I have to admit, I got home, let me think. By the time the plane landed at 10, I got my bag, got an Uber home. It was about 11:30.
Wow.
And at night. And then, I had a hard time getting to sleep then, even though I was tired,
Mm-hmm.
So then the next morning I had a hard time staying asleep. So I got up pretty early, like 5 or 6 or something. And then I just unpacked my suitcase and I did things like that. But then I was just exhausted at about 3 o'clock and I laid down. I was just so tired, and I was going to make myself a nice dinner. And I ended up having the dinner of champions, or the dinner of lazy people, which is cheese and crackers.
I was going to say cheese and crackers.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'll just tell you a little bit about the trip. Well, actually, before I do that, is there anything we need to talk about? A little housekeeping or anything before I talk about the trip?
Oh yeah. I just had, we had some listener feedback. This was on, in our email recently. Janice, she said, "Greetings. On your last podcast, you floated the idea of a bingo card for your projects. If someone hasn't reached out to you yet, I will. WhipGo 2026 on Facebook has a good deal of experience doing this exact thing. I thought you might want to take a look at her method. Jessie Marie is the contact. Love your podcast, longtime listener." So thank you, Janice.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to just put that information out there in case anybody else is doing the bingo card. I have most of my list created, but I haven't actually put it into a bingo card yet. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the projects, but I wanted to let people know. And then I thought this was interesting. We got an email also that was like a 2020. I don't remember ever getting something like this before, but we got a 2025 wrap-up email on our YouTube channel, which basically our YouTube channel is our audio podcast on YouTube with just a static picture of our logo. But some people, are used to getting stuff on YouTube, and that's where they spend time. And so it's a good place for them, if, even though it's not something they're watching, it's listening. I listen sometimes to some of the YouTubers that I like, that I don't care if I see what they're doing, and I can just, set it down and go about my business, but listen. Anyway, so we got this email telling us our 2025 wrap up. And so I just thought I would share this. We have 211 YouTube subscribers in the US, Canada, and UK. So I thought that was cool. And then I also wanted to welcome our newest YouTube subscribers, Rachel and Linda. And then over the course of the year, it listed a couple of other subscribers for the whole year. And so the other ones for 2025 were Knitting Bandit and Carrie G. Art, and they subscribed earlier in 2025. And so just wanted to give a shout out to all of the people who are subscribers on YouTube. And I suspect another reason that people might do it is that they might get a notification on YouTube that the show is there. And then that triggers them to, if they're on YouTube a lot, that will trigger them to go and maybe listen elsewhere. I don't know what your listening habits are. all of you who are on YouTube, but I thought it was really interesting to see that we have some subscribers. And again, I noticed my social media faux pas of not looking for comments, because some people have commented on our episodes, and I'm just not in the habit of going to look for that. So if you commented on YouTube, we appreciate you. Thank you. And sorry I didn't ever respond to your comment.
Okay, I'm going to go and start looking too, because
because
you thought about
you
it.
go on YouTube a lot. You could just check.
Oh yeah, I'm on there.
Just check.
I mean, I'm on there a shocking amount. I should not be on there as much as I am on there.
It's kind
but
of
I
like
watch.
if I look at my phone and the amount of time I spend on things, what I use most is, one of the things I use the most is the podcast app. And it's kind of the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just consuming content in a different way. So anyway.
Yeah, because I like on YouTube, I watch the late night hosts, you know, so I don't have to stay up till 11:30 or whatever time they come on. And I watch like the PBS NewsHour. I watch that on YouTube instead of, because sometimes I miss it. And, you know, so there's a lot of stuff I watch very intentionally. And of course, there's the channels that I'm obsessed with that I watch all the time. But that's another podcast about what I'm watching on YouTube. All right. Well, I'll check out the comments. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to just do is provide that little listener feedback information.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about the trip. One of the comments as the pictures I've been posting on Instagram, one of the comments is they were anxious to hear about, or excited to hear about my trip, and to spare no details. So I'm going to start off by saying we boarded the plane at 8:20 a.m.
And did you have sparkling water or coffee or a cocktail?
No. We did not. I had orange juice probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours into the flight, because we had so much turbulence.
Oh my
That was kind of interesting. I've never been on a flight that had so much turbulence. But anyway, so the flight crew is basically strapped into their seats most of the time. But anyway, no, I'm not going to go into all that detail. No.
People just dropped off the channel.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually that comment about like, well, we boarded the plane, that's from years ago. Remember when people would come back from a trip and then you'd have them over, you'd go to their house to see their slides?
Yes.
You know, remember slides? And I remember somebody came to my parents' house and we were there, and they had gone to Europe, and that's how it started out. Well, we boarded the plane at 8:20 a.m.
That was their first slide.
Oh my God. And we were there like 3 hours looking at slides. It was, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all that detail. Anyway, I would say the tour I went on, just to remind people, it's a company called Rowan Tree Travel. And this tour was to Oaxaca, Mexico, which, if you don't know where Oaxaca is, it's southern Mexico. It's about 300 miles south of Mexico City. And it's a high elevation. The city's at about 5,000 feet.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that either. So it was, it's very dry, and it was not terribly hot, I think, because we were there in January and not, I mean, I don't know what it'd be like in July and August. It might be very hot, but it was actually quite cold in the morning. I had to wear my puffer jacket in the morning, but quickly warmed up. So it was pretty nice. But anyway, the whole focus of this tour was textiles and art and food. So we did interesting things, like, for example, one of the first days we were there, and I should say too, I can't remember the exact count of people. I think there was 14 of us on the tour, and then 2 tour guides that were with us all the time. And then certain trips outside the city of Oaxaca, we had local guides who were with us, and they were excellent. All of them were excellent. But we did things like, for example, there's a lot of murals in Oaxaca City. So we had a tour one day to see the murals. We went to several different museums. We went to some markets. We had day trips out to small villages to go to, for example, we went to a Sunday market, which was really interesting. All the fruits and vegetables that were available, and the meats. And the market was so interesting because it was divided into sections. It had like the bread area and the pastry area. It had the fruit area, the vegetable area, the insect area, because in Oaxaca, they eat a lot of insects like grasshoppers and worms that they dry and grind up for an extra source of protein. And I tried the worms and I tried the grasshoppers, and they're really quite good. I posted a picture on Instagram of, I had a tortilla chip with guacamole on it and then grasshoppers on top of it. And a lot of people were like, no, thank you. But I thought they were actually pretty good. And, people need protein. Right. So that's a source of protein. And they're really kind of salty and kind of citrusy all at the same time. Oh. Quite good. Oh. They're, don't worry, Kelly, when you come to visit, I'm not going to gather grasshoppers and make you eat grasshoppers. But we just did a lot of really fun things. We went to, we saw archaeological sites. We toured Mitla, which I posted pictures of that. It's pre-Columbian, and they have the walls are carved stone with all these geometric patterns, and they're weave structures, which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And then we went to, that day we went to a cotton weaver, and I actually bought a shawl there called I think it's called a rebozo. I think reboza, I think it is. It's a very traditional, usually it's black, that women wear on their shoulder or around their shoulders, and in a special way they wrap it. And so I bought one in red and black, really beautiful. And it's interesting. I'll take a picture of it and the patterning on it, because the pattern represents cocoa beans, corn. What were the other things that were on there? I have to look up my notes. So all the weave structure represents the different foods in
that's
in
cool.
Oaxaca.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. I actually signed up on my own for a cooking class. So we made, it's called Chiles Nogales, which is sort of like chili rellenos, where you have the poblano pepper that you grill, you char and take the outside skin off, and then you stuff it. But instead of being stuffed with cheese, it's stuffed with a mixture of pork and beef and toasted nuts and fruits and all these different spices. And you stuff it inside the pepper, and then you take a mixture of, you take eggs and separate them and beat the egg whites, and then beat in fold in the egg yolks and some flour and salt. And then you dip it in that batter and fry them. And then after that, then you cover it with a sauce that's made of a Mexican cheese. It's sort of like sour cream.
Oh, yeah.
That you mix with some milk, and you grind it up in the blender, the sour cream type cheese, the milk, walnuts, salt, a little bit of sugar, not a lot because you don't want it to be like a dessert, but it has to be a little bit sweet kind of, and brandy. And you grind that all up, and then you pour that over the chili nogales. And then on one end, you put pomegranate seeds, and at the other end, you put either parsley or cilantro, so it looks like the Mexican flag.
Oh,
and
cool.
we were told in class that this recipe was developed for Mexico 200 years ago for Mexico's independence. So that's why it looks like the Mexican flag. Kind of cool.
That
cool.
Was
really a highlight taking that class. I really love, the last full day we were there with the tour. We went to Monte Alban, and I have to say too, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing any of this correctly, but it's also a pre-Columbian site in the city, and it's so Oaxaca City's at 5,000 feet. This is just under 2,000 feet higher than Oaxaca City, so pretty high up and very well preserved. So I took a lot of pictures and posted of that. It's just very interesting to see that and all the carvings and very interesting structures, to see that. But I think really for me, the highlight of the trip is we went, there is an organization in Oaxaca City called Envia, ENVIA, and I'll put a link in the show notes about all this information, but they're a micro-lending organization, and so they only lend money to women, and it's the initial loan is not very much. I think it's about $15 US. And it's to get women started on a business, whether it be weaving or soap making or food production or all different things that they're doing, so they can support their families and have some independence, and it builds esteem and all sorts of really positive things. And so we had 2 guides from Envia join us on the bus, and we went to a village, and I'll put the link to the name of the village, and we visited 3 women there. One woman and was with her husband were weaving rugs, and the other woman with her another place with the woman and her husband, they were silk producers. So I think, Kelly, you saw the pictures on Instagram where they're pulling the silk off the cocoons, and then winding that onto almost like a swift, and then setting that up on the loom, threading the loom. And that was fascinating. I didn't realize that one cocoon has 1.5 kilometers of thread in it. I mean, an amazing amount, I think, considering those, the cocoons are only about 1 inch long, and 1/2 inch thick. I mean, they're very small. But
it's amazing that they can unwind the fiber, like in a one long strand of silk fiber.
No, fascinating, just really fascinating. And then the last house we stopped at was a mother-daughter, and they were weaving shawls, that type of thing, out of wool and cotton. So really interesting just to see how sort of empowered the women were, having their own business and having control over their business, because my understanding, what we were told, is that a lot of times women, especially in these villages, don't have very much autonomy. And so this is something that they have total autonomy over, and they're actually running the business. And the first two houses that we visited, their husbands were very involved in the business, but they were not running the business and paying the bills or ordering the materials or anything. They were there helping weave and that kind of thing. Anyway, very interesting and beautiful, beautiful handcrafts.
Nice.
Really fun to see. So I don't want to go on too much about it. It was just really, really nice. The food was excellent. I've posted pictures. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting pictures of all the food and the churches that we saw and the craft that we saw. Really, really an excellent trip. Highly recommend it. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to go over every single detail, I've been making notes of everything we saw. And so I'll put a link in the show notes just to a document with everything that we did, all the names of the restaurants and the museums, and put links to all of that in there.
Put in a link to your Instagram account as well, so that at least if people go there, so you don't have to be on Instagram to view someone else's page. You can do it like through a browser.
Yeah.
And so,
and they're also on Facebook too, on my Facebook account.
So if anybody isn't on those things and wants to see them, at least if you're going, relatively close to when this is being published, those pictures from Oaxaca will be close to the top, and you'll be able to see what Marsha posted on Instagram. It was beautiful pictures, really beautiful. It looked like a very beautiful area.
Yeah, it really was. I'm already thinking about when I'm going to go back next. I would like to go back and take another cooking class. We did one of the days at lunch. We had a mole tasting lunch, and apparently there's 7 moles that are made in Oaxaca, and so we had a sampling of those. And so there's a lot of cooking classes on making mole that are offered there, but I chose the chili nogales is what I ended up choosing. But I like to go back and do that, and I'd also like to just go back and wander the streets because it's really interesting. And I don't know if I'm brave enough to rent a car and drive around. I don't know if I'm that brave, but that would be really kind of fun too, So, yeah. So I know that Rowan Tree offers tours to India and throughout Europe, a lot in the UK. So if you want to look them up, you can take a look at some of their other tours. It's sort of a testament at how good the trip is, that one of the women on the trip, I think this was her 9th tour with Rowan Tree.
Oh, wow.
So that says something, right? She's gone 9 times.
Well, and the other nice 2 couples that you mentioned when we were talking were also on a 2nd or 3rd trip, right? Yeah,
there was 2 husband and wife teams, and they had been on multiple of these trips, and they had been on something together, I think, and that's how they knew each other. So, and nice people that were on the trip too. The tour, everybody was really interesting and fun, and it was a good trip. I really enjoyed it. So,
in almost 2 weeks,
but now
right?
I'm back to reality.
You were gone about 2 weeks, just short of 2 weeks.
Yes, and I should say too is that we flew American Airlines from Seattle to Dallas Fort Worth, and then there was a 15-hour layover before the next leg from Dallas Fort Worth to Oaxaca. So I stayed 2 nights in Dallas Fort Worth, and it was pretty nice. I liked Fort Worth. I kind of like Texas. Now, I don't know if Fort Worth is representative of all of Texas. I'm sure, every state is different, right? Washington State is very different on the West Coast than it is on the west side of the mountains as opposed to the east side of the mountains, and vice versa. It's different weather, different terrain, and different people.
Right.
So I don't know how Fort Worth compares to the rest of Texas, but I thought it was super fun. I really enjoyed it. And you saw some of the pictures that I posted. There was like a couple of hat bars where you go in and you pick out your cowboy hat, and then you have a whole room full of all these little things that you could stick on your cowboy hat, and then you go up to the bar and you build your hat, a hat bar. Kind of funny, and then I think, Kelly, did you see the video I posted of the longhorn cows or steer or whatever they are on a cattle drive? Those poor things were pretty old and tired. I think it was a very short drive, but the horns on those things, they're like 5 feet long on each side of their head. I mean, these things are huge, these horns. I just can't figure out.
That's why they're tired.
How... yeah. And somebody said that they only weigh 80 pounds. Because they're hollow, but still that's a lot of... They're just so cumbersome. I just don't understand, how did these...
Right.
Cows with these horns develop? It's just such an interesting thing. But anyway, so... I enjoyed Fort Worth. So if we have listeners in Fort Worth, I like your city.
Yeah, Robert and I enjoyed Dallas when we were there. We stayed a few days before we left and went to the northeastern part of Texas, where his family's from, and we really enjoyed ourselves. Yeah, and the food is amazing. It was really good.
I thought of you, Kelly, because the morning I can't think what morning it was, but anyway, I had grits, cheesy grits. Darn good.
So good. So good. Yeah.
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 Very good. Not something you should probably eat every day, but very good. So, but I thought of you when I was eating those.
Yeah. I really appreciated all the grits that I ate while we were on that trip. So, all right. Well,
anyway,
shall we get on to our projects?
Yes. Yes. Do you want, since I've been talking so much, do you want to talk about your projects?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of a break. I've been spinning while you've been talking. I don't know if that sound has been showing up in the podcast or
no,
not.
I haven't heard anything.
I oiled my wheel really well, and I tried to position things in front of, between the microphone and the spinning wheel. But if you can hear it, it's a lovely sound. So hopefully it won't be too bothersome to people. So I have been spinning. I've done a lot of spinning since the last time we recorded. I finished the combed CVM. So I didn't spin on our Christmas trip because we were in the trailer and we had a lot of stuff that we had to bring because it was going to be rainy, and so we needed towels and rain gear and clothes that take up a lot of space. I always give Robert a bad time when we go camping in cold weather that his clothes are so big. Why do your clothes have to be so big and take up so much space? But anyway, so I did not bring my spinning wheel, as I wasn't sure how much outside time I'd have, and spinning in the trailer is a little tricky with the dogs. That Christmas trip I didn't get to spin, so I got home and I thought, you know what, I'm going to spin this CVM. I'm going to spin this up and try to get this done by the end of the year. I didn't quite make it by New Year's to have it finished, but shortly thereafter I did finish it. I got 3 skeins, a little over 200 grams of 3-ply. It's about fingering weight, and combined with the other stuff I spun, it's over 2 pounds. I got over 2 pounds from that fleece. I still do have some fleece left. I'm not sure that I'll use it. I think I might. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. I think I might. It's very sticky. It needs to be rewashed. So if I am going to use it or donate it to someone, destash it, I will wash it one more time and see if I can get out all the stickiness. Okay. But gorgeous to spin. That comb top, I was like, oh, this is a lot of work while I was doing the combing. But, oh, man, was it gorgeous to spin. Really nice. So I will definitely make use of my combs a little bit more than I have. And then right now I'm spinning the Romney Rambouillet a dark brown fleece that was at Knockers. And I picked it up at Knockers. Oh, okay. I can't remember if this is one that Pat destashed. I know that there was some that Pat destashed, and then some that I think Marianne was destashing. And I don't remember which of us got what or how much, or if we split it. I don't remember, but it's about a pound of fleece, and it's really nice. I know I got a brown fleece that was Marianne's, that she had spun up enough for a sweater and then donated the rest of it. Okay. So maybe I got Marianne's and you got Pat's? I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, I don't remember.
But it's, it was Morrow Fleece Works processed it. And again, a lovely, lovely spin. I'm spinning it a little thicker than my default, or at least trying to. I started already plying, so I have couple of skeins of a 3-ply, and I'm just continuing spinning on it. I've really been enjoying it. I have part of spinning is having my wheels accessible and fiber right there. And so I've got my Wyatt is in the bedroom with the basket next to it. And right now the basket is empty of wool because I finished that project. And I'm going to need to bring in some bats from the garage that are finished. And then The other wheel has been sitting by the couch with a basket full of this fiber. And so I sit down and then I just grab it and do a little spinning, and it's been great. I love spinning, and it's very soothing, and I don't do it enough. A lot of times I'll, if something isn't handy, because I don't have a lot of braids, if something isn't handy, if I have to go out to the garage to get it, or set up the wheel, move it from one room to another. There's just lots of friction points that I'm trying to remove so that I spin more. And I've been successful at that so far this year. So
okay,
that's a positive. That's a big plus. And then my chenille rugs are coming along. So this is part 2, and I have all of the chenille is done and all cut up. And I have threaded the warp for the rug through the reed. So now I just have to thread through the heddles and tie on and wind on and just, all the rest of the stuff you have to do to get the warp on your loom. I got that part of it finished today, which is good because I start back to school on Friday. And so I want to get at least close to being able to throw the shuttle before school starts, because then I can come home and I can do that after work. That's a good after work project between after work and dinner, or after I do the dishes. And that won't take too long because, it's like, I don't know, 2 picks per inch or something with those big thick chenilles. So yeah, I'm excited about that project. Let's see what else is on my list. Oh, my sleeveless vest.
Yes.
I sat down and made myself get get those little sleeves done. I mean, they're not really sleeves. They're just like, from the yoke, you decrease, and you have these little tabs that attach at the top, right, to make the top of a vest. And I made myself do that. I had done it for the back, and then I just needed to do it for the front. So I thought, this is not going to take that long because they're very skinny. And so I did that, and then I got them attached together. You attach them with a 3-needle bind off, so you have a row, and so you have that row, that line of stitches across the top of the sleeves that matches the horizontal stitch that goes across the top of the yoke and across the bottom. And so the only thing I have to do now is pick up stitches around the neck and pick up stitches around each of the arms. And so I'm very close to being finished with that.
Yes, you're very close.
And so I'll probably have that done by the next time we talk, because I want to wear it. It's the perfect time of year to wear it, and it feels a little short. I tried it on. It feels a little short, but I think it's actually okay because it's always going to go over something. I'm going to wear it over the top of a blouse. I have 2 blouses that I never wear. Actually, I have 3 blouses that I almost never wear. And a couple of them I think would look really good under this vest. So it has wardrobe potential. So I have to get it going so I can use its wardrobe potential for the first month, at least the first few months of the semester. So stay tuned. I really like it. I like the way it looks. Just, again, a friction point, picking up stitches. It's not the most fun part of knitting. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, I know.
So, and then what else? Oh, and then I started a project Monday because I needed something to knit during dog class, because we go for Bailey's class early. Her class is at 5:45. And then Barry's class isn't until 8:00. So there's a lot of, there's 2 classes worth of, so an hour and a half between their classes when her class ends and his class starts. So that's a lot of knitting time. And we usually get there early, before her 5:45 class. We try to get there around 5 something. a little after 5. So there's knitting time before class too. So I thought I cannot sit here and not knit anything because I had nothing to bring. Mm-hmm. So I started a pair of socks, and this is on my bingo card list that I haven't made into a bingo card is patterned socks. And so these are actually patterned socks. They have two cables, one on each side of the sock going down the sock. It's called Sea Toller by Louise Tilbrook. And I do have a picture on my project page. And if you look closely, you can see I've made a mistake in my cable. And I think I'm not going to care. It wasn't until I took the picture that I was like, there's a mistake. I see. So I don't know.
Never mind.
It's not
It'll be under your pants.
Yeah, right? I know. That's kind of what I think. But also it's only, I don't know, 4 rows back or something, which very easily I could go back and take it out and do it right. So we'll see. I don't know. I may just keep going.
You could just, Up. Is the ribbing just knit? Those are such pronounced.
No, it's knit through the back loop, one by one ribbing. So so knit through the back loop, purl, knit through the back loop, purl. It looks really nice. I have another pair of patterned socks that one of her patterns that's more detailed than this one. And it's a really nice stitch. It works really nicely for socks. And this color is so pretty. It's kind of a, I don't know, like a bourbon-y brown color, like whiskey brown, and sort of mottled and anyway, very pretty color. I think there's a little more variation of color than would be perfect for cabled socks. But but you know what? That mistake is not going to show.
I know.
Because of that variation of color. Who am I kidding? I'm going to just keep going. I'm not going to go backwards.
So I have a question about the yarn, because it says comfort and joy. And the colorway is Oopsie. Purchase at Stitches West. Yes. R.I.P. You put in there. So was that a mistake? It's called Oopsie. Was that a mistake color? Or
she had a whole basket of mistake colors, and I think I bought 3 of them that all kind of matched, thinking that thinking that I could either do socks, or if I got a different thought, I could put it together into a 3-color shawl. So I think I've actually, I'm pretty sure I've actually knit one of the colors. I can't remember which pair of socks it was, but this was I don't know when it was. It was a long time ago. I mean, it was maybe the first Sacramento stitches, and maybe the stitches before the pandemic in Santa Clara. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm really enjoying them. They have just enough interest to keep me interested, but they're not. The last pair of pattern socks I did, which I want to do another pair like this, was hoarfrost, and I basically had to sit in bed with the pattern at night when Robert was asleep, or not around or not talking to me, and knit them. And they were really fun. So these are not quite that complicated, but I'm enjoying them. And then Friday, I'm back to school, right? So I'm going to need something to be knitting on, and I don't think these socks will be the right project because of the cables. And so I saw in our Ravelry group, Sal Pal posted a pattern. Apparently in Norway during World War II, protest against the Nazis was wearing a red hat. And I read a little bit.
Oh, I saw an article about that. Yeah.
I went and read a couple of articles, and actually there were Christmas cards. The article I was reading was about Christmas cards, and there were all kinds of ways that this red hat thing was used to indicate resistance. And so there they would get caught. Like if they put a red hat, it started being outlawed to wear it or to use it in your pictures, right? Drawings and stuff, paintings, Christmas cards, that kind of thing. So then they would show like Santa with his hat missing, scratching his head. So there's no red hat, but you get the point, right? So this red hat became a sign of resistance against the Nazis. And anyway, this red hat pattern has resurfaced, or, a pattern like this has resurfaced in Ravelry. And I have some red yarn that I bought. I bought 2 reds and a gray, or 2 grays and a red. I can't remember, because I was going to make a shawl. And I bought it from the Royal Bee. This was at the Sacramento Stitches. Yes, I remember that, yeah. And I'm going to dig that out, and that's what I'm going to work on during the Friday professional development day that we have before school starts. So that's going to be my knitting. The unfortunate part is that I did a stash toss. So I took all my yarn. Oh. And I put it all on a towel. Not a towel. No, it wouldn't fit on a towel. I put it all on a sheet. This is all my knitting, not the weaving cones, but all my knitting yarn. I gathered it up from all over, put it on a sheet, sorted it out. I haven't done the work I need to do on it, but it looks like, to know this for sure, but it looks like about 3/4 of it is hand spun. That I was kind of shocked by that so much of it is hand spun, and a few more than I thought quantities that could become sweaters. So I need to start making some plans. I mean, this is why I did it, so I would know what I had, what I was going to use. And I've also made, as I was looking at it, made some like mental notes that I'm going to be okay splitting things up, because I have some quantities that are like way more than a sweater. And so I'm going to have to, because it's hand spun and it's coming from fleeces, I'm going to be okay with using whatever it takes to do the project I want. So that, for example, Robert's moose hat, right? I took a skein from almost a sweater quantity and another skein from that Shetland that is almost a sweater quantity, and made his hat. So, and then this red hat that I'm going to make is a grouping of yarn that I had thought I was going to use for, a project altogether. I mean, I'm going to split that up, and I'm going to use one skein for this hat. Anyway, I spread it all out, looked at it, put tags on stuff that I had never put tags on, which that's always a bad idea. You tell yourself you won't forget what this yarn is. So I got those tags on from the summer spin-in this past summer. And then we had a party, and I wasn't done going through it. And so I just took the sheet and rolled it up like a burrito and stuffed it in the trunk that's up in the sunroom. And so guess where it still is? Rolled up like a burrito, stuffed in the trunk. So now I have to take it out, and I have to unroll it and grab this red yarn so I can get my project started tomorrow and get it to a point where, I'm not casting on during professional development days. So I'll have a project. So I did put that in my project page. Anyway, so those are my projects.
So before you get off your projects, your bingo card, do you want to talk about what you're putting on your bingo card?
Yeah, I can talk about some of the things that I'm going to put. I'm not completely finished with my list, and I don't have it with me, so I won't be able to refer to it.
Okay.
But things I remember that are on there. So pattern socks, I already talked about. Spinning without an orifice is one of the things. So I have a charka, I have a great wheel, I have spindles. And so one of the things on there is going to be spinning. I don't know how specific I'm going to get, but I was thinking, okay, so all three of those things could count. And I noticed on some people's bingo cards, like you have to check 2 of them. Like it has check boxes inside of the bingo square. So I could say, spinning without an orifice, and I have 2 check boxes. So I have to do 2 different things where I'm spinning without an orifice. So the great wheel and the charka, or the great wheel and a spindle, or something. So that's one of the things. Another thing I want to put on the bingo card is combing, because I really enjoyed that preparation. So combing fiber is going to be on there. I've got a few more on the list, but that I haven't made the card up yet. I got to do that too before school starts.
I was going to ask you, are you putting anything on there that's not fiber related?
Oh, yes,
like
the cake.
Walking, take the dogs to the beach.
Yes, those 2 things are also on the list, yes. The beach.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to put check boxes in the beach square so that I have to do it more than once. I might not say like monthly or bi-monthly. I might just have a number of times. That way I can
going to the beach every day.
Yeah.
They might be going to the beach every day in December.
Exactly. Exactly. But the thing about it, we were talking before we started the podcast, when Marsha and I were talking, we were having a conversation about, I don't even remember how it came up, but about milestones and how it's sometimes nice to have a milestone, right? And I think if I have to wait all the way till December to verify that I did it, let's say I say bi-monthly or quarterly, right? If I have to wait all the way to December to say I did it quarterly or I did it bi-monthly, that's not as motivational as I'm going to do it 5 times, and every time I do it, I can check off,
Yeah. I can check something off. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So anyway, that's on it. And that cake, the Princesa Torta, that's on there too. It's going to be on there. I'm motivated to make that cake. Again, I might make it for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, really?
What are you having for New Year's Eve? Oh, we're having this cake. I might be done by midnight.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm gonna have to look that up, because I remember it, but I don't remember all the details about that cake. So I'm gonna have to look it up. But anyway, isn't it like green and pink, or am I wrong?
I don't have it in my bookmarks anymore. I don't think I took it out. For the longest time, I had the article about it. It's a Mary Berry recipe. Yeah, I don't still have it in my bookmarks right on or my favorites in my browser. But I think there might be some pink, but it's definitely got the bright green.
Yeah, yeah.
So
look it up. Okay. Is that everything for
that's it for me.
For your projects? Okay, well, I have 2 finished projects to report on. Do you remember the black and yellow socks I was knitting on? The let's see, it's called. I got the yarn from the D-Stash room at the 2 Knit Lit Chicks retreat in Lake Tahoe, and it's the Hummingbird. Let's see, the Hummingbird Moon Full Moon BFL sock in the colorway Eye of Newt. I finished that the second sock in Mexico.
Nice.
And I cast on another. This is now out of order, but I immediately cast on another pair of socks, and I'm using Schoppel-Wool Das Paar in the colorway Pigment Nebel.
What?
And I'm making the. That's what it says.
Okay.
I didn't make it up. That's what it says. I don't know. Anyway, and then I'm making the, and it's one of those the skein has two skeins twisted together. So I think the idea is that each sock will match. The patterning will match. And so far, it's not repeating the patterning.
Oh, interesting.
The stripes. So anyway, I got this at the Knockers retreat, I think maybe last year. And I think if Julie Smith is listening, I think it's her yarn that she donated, because it's her colors, kind of purple and teal. That's her colors. And it's the price tag was on it, and it was from All Wound Up in Edmonds.
Oh.
So those two things together makes me think that she donated. So Julie, if you're listening, you can text me or message me through Ravelry if this is your yarn. But anyway, I really like it. And I'm doing contrasting heels and toes. And I didn't put this in my notes, but I believe it's Cloudborn in a teal color. Which kind of picks up the teal that's in there. I think one year they were giving them away at Knockers.
Yeah, I have one too.
Yeah, and I had two, because I had one in red that I used on another pair of socks, and I had this teal one. Maybe I got it from the D-Stash room or something. Doesn't matter. But the other project I finished was I cast it on right before I left for Mexico, so I would have something else to knit on, because I can't go with just one project. I'm always worried that something's going to happen, so I need two projects. So I cast on the Nicholas Slouch Hat by Kyle Kunnecke. And Kelly, I think Kyle Kunnecke is the designer of the Happiness sweater that I made.
Yeah.
The big boxy sweater.
That sounds familiar.
And I think maybe I talked about this because with the last time I recorded, but I'm using Sincere Sheep, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Terroir worsted. And I think they were doing it was a series of yarn they were doing. I bought this yarn at Stitches one year, and I think it was a series of yarn that they were doing that were like heritage breeds or endangered breeds or something. I don't remember. That's a rust color. And then the other one is the full circle wool that was in the natural cream. And I talked about before, this is from the sheep from the Navarro winery in the Anderson Valley of California, that the sheep keep the weeds down between the grapevines. So anyway, I finished the hat, and I really think it looks great. The only thing I struggled with is the chart. Like, the main color is dark and the contrasting color is light, but I reversed it. So every time I was knitting with the rust, I should be following the light color on the chart. So it was a little bit of a brain twister.
I'm laughing.
In my head some nights.
Yeah, I'm laughing because Marsha was telling me about this earlier, and I was like, oh, no. I could not do that. I would have had to redo that chart. That's just a little bit too much breaking my brain.
Yeah. So anyway, that's done. And I really like the hat. In fact, I like it so much, I think I'm going to make a second one. Maybe I'm going to keep this one for myself. I really like the colors, but I think I'll make another one and maybe give it to Ben. The only other thing I cast on is on the trip, they gave us a kit for a little bag called the Oaxaca Journey Bag. And the designer is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's Araceli Gonzalez. And the yarn they gave us is Prado de Lana, and it's not a pattern on Ravelry. So I'll take a picture I can post a picture in the notes of what the bag is supposed to look like. But anyway, they gave this to it, but the designer is the wife of one of the guides that we had taking us to one of the villages, which is kind of a nice thing. So some people finish their bags. I started the bag. There's two styles you can make, one with a square bottom and one with a rounded bottom. I started the rounded one, and I cast on 4 times to get started on this thing. And the 4th time sort of worked. And I started knitting. I knit about 10 rows, and it looked terrible. So it's not the pattern, it's me. So I just decided to rip it out. And when I got home and I could really concentrate on it, I'll cast on. So I cast on yesterday. So I've knit about an inch of it or so. It's going to go pretty quickly because even though it's this Prado de Lana says that it's DK, it's not DK. It's worsted to bulky. I think it's very thick yarn.
I'm looking at the picture.
Fast.
Yeah, it does look like it's more like a bulky.
Yeah. And then I haven't even touched the spinning that I was doing, the Sheridan Flats. Haven't touched that since before I left. And the same thing with the rag rugs. The last time we recorded, remember I went and madly wove.
Oh, yeah. So you could talk about it?
Well, and actually, I think I wove like 4 or 6 inches. I've actually done now about 20 inches before I left. But then I ran out of one of the colors. So I stopped and then I left the country. So now that I'm back, I'll get back on it. And then the only other thing is nothing's happening with the weaving studio at all. That's just, it's a constant thing. The garden, though, has continued while I was gone. And in fact, John, the guy who's doing the work, he was here today. So all of the irrigation has been completed. I had irrigation back there, but some of it was damaged. So he had to repair that. And then because the fence is extending about 24 inches, it's now on the edge of the alley, that no man's land is gone. I didn't think about this, but the irrigation system had to be extended too. So that's done, and he added another one. And the other thing I'm kind of excited about is I had a zone in the existing irrigation system for drip irrigation for my pots. And I don't know why, because this was installed. I don't know where I was when the garden was originally installed in the irrigation. Maybe I was in college or something. I don't know. So I don't know why there is a zone for drip irrigation, but it never was a connected. So now it's all connected. So the idea is that all my pots on my deck and my patio will just be watered by the drip irrigation, and I won't have to haul water around and water them every day.
Nice.
Kind of excited about this, yeah.
Or you can travel and
all
make sure your pots are still watered.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, but all of the retaining wall is done and the irrigation is done and it's all been backfilled. And so the next thing is the fence goes up on top of this retaining wall. And so I have samples coming. They are going to be delivered to my house, the samples for the finials. And I picked out all of the pickets and the crossbars, if that makes sense. But I have to figure out what finials are going on top of the fence. And so John, the designer, today put up a line to show me the height of the fence to get my approval on it. So it's moving along. So I may have a fence by February, Kelly. We'll see. Yeah. But all of a sudden today, though, it occurred to me with all of the changes to the irrigation system, plus all of the clean outs that he's put in. And do you remember what I said about when I didn't own a home, I didn't realize how sexy clean outs are? I realized I need to get a notebook where I just write down all the stuff about, because I know how to, with the irrigation system in its old form, I knew how to start in the spring and how to winterize it. But now it's different. Mm-hmm. So I have to make notes to myself about what I'm doing. And also, there is a hose bib out by the alley, but the faucet stuck up out of the ground. I mean, it was on a pipe that stuck up 24 inches and would freeze. And there was no shut off for it. It had broken off. So now I have a new one that actually has sort of like a quick release thing. So you can just remove the faucet when you're not using it and stick it in the garage. And then there's another little box thing in there for, turning off the water. But I thought I'm never going to remember all of this stuff. And also if maybe, who knows, if I sell the house, someone's got to need this information, right? About how this whole system works. Yeah. So,
and where everything is once all the plants are in. People, I mean, It's kind of like you think, oh, I'll remember that, like the labels on my skeins, right? And no, I now know
exactly.
Those kinds of things don't stick around, especially things that you don't use often, right?
Right.
So that's a good idea.
I have the original plan because our friend Dave, your wedding photographer, did the original irrigation system. So I have his drawings, I have the plan, and so I gave it to John today, and he's going to take that plan and just draw in the new lines on it. So I'll have that, and I'll stick that in the notebook. But all of a sudden I thought I got to get organized and not just, because I won't remember.
Right.
Just know I won't remember all this stuff. So, but it's really coming along. I'm very excited, and after the fence goes in, then we'll start talking plants.
The fun part.
I'm excited about the fun. Well, I have to say, all this has been fun, but the plants is really going to be the fun part, I think. So that's it for me. We should mention Winter Weave Along is continuing till the 31st. But Kelly, I'm sorry, 31st of March.
Yes.
But I have to mention the Home Along because we all know this, that we're bad podcasters. Where are we on that?
I am going to stitch in.
Where are we?
I'm going to stitch in the winners right in here somewhere.
Okay.
So,
all right, let's go ahead and announce the prizes. So we have 3 gift certificates from Invictus Yarn, and the first winner of a gift certificate from Invictus Yarn is Crystal 81 in California. And the next winner is 7 Autumn 5 in Indiana. And the third winner of the $30 Invictus Yarn gift certificate is Mishembri from North Carolina. And now we also have 2 patterns. First pattern is donated by SalPal1, and it's a pattern of your choice up to $15, and it goes to Catitude in the Netherlands. And then we have another pattern up to $15 donated by an anonymous listener. And this goes to Ulrika C. from Sweden. So if you have won a prize, please get in touch with me. 100 Projects on Ravelry or Instagram, or email me at 2use@2usefiberadventures.com, and we can get your gift certificate or your pattern to you. If you want a pattern, let me know what pattern it is. And if you're able to link to the pattern, that would be great. Otherwise, we might just have to have a little conversation back and forth to make sure I've got the right one. All right. Thank you all for playing. Congratulations.
Woohoo!
congratulations.
Woohoo! Yes. Congratulations to all the winners.
And then we mentioned it last time, kind of teased it, but I didn't talk about it because we didn't have a firm plan. But we now have booked our class, Foundations Weaving class, at the Newberry School. We're going to be going in July. It ended up we needed to change the date. We thought we were going to go. So now it's going to be in July, the end of July, July 20th through, the class starts on July 20th, and we're going to do 2 sessions. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, we've got the foundation. Everybody has to take the foundation class. So we've got that booked. And now we have to figure out what the second week is going to be. And
I'm in contact. I'm in contact with them about how to sign up for that second week. So haven't gotten a response yet, but it hasn't been that long. So we'll have more information about that next time. But we're super excited to be going to Vermont, to Newberry, Vermont. Excited. I've never been to Vermont. So.
Well, I have to be completely honest, Kelly. Yesterday, I was not quite so excited because
I made Marsha get on the phone right away when she got home to book this.
I was still in recovery, but now as I'm getting farther away from Oaxaca, I'm getting more excited about Vermont, and I think it's going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So, anyway, and Kelly, kind of our first trip together on a plane, I think.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever traveled on a plane with you. I can't remember
we've
it
gone
if we
to Stitches and But we've never done anything like this, so I'm really excited about it. It's going to be fun.
Me too.
Okay, and then Game of Wool, we're going to wait another episode to talk about that.
Yes, this one's already long enough.
I know. I went on too long.
No, I'm not. That's not a criticism. We both had a lot happening in the last few weeks.
We haven't talked.
We haven't talked
for a while. So, is that everything?
I think that's everything.
Alrighty. Well, I'll let you get back to spinning.
All right.
I guess you've been spinning the whole time, and I'm going to continue knitting on Julie's socks. I think this is Julie's yarn. I'm going to keep knitting on.
Isn't it fun to know whose stuff you're using? And sometimes, one time, I know what it was. I decided I was going to go to Knockers without a main project and get needles and get yarn and make a hat. And I made you that Ricky hat.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, then I came home and did some sleuthing to figure out whose yarn it was. And then I sent them a message in Ravelry because the yarn had been in their stash, and I saw it. And I was able to figure it out. You can't always figure it out, but I was able to figure it out. And I sent them a message in Ravelry with a picture of the finished hat. So that was pretty fun.
I'm interested to hear if this is Julie's yarn, because my two clues are the colors and the yarn store.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see if my hunch is correct. So anyway. Okay, with that, I guess I'll let you go.
All right.
And get on with the rest of your evening. Okay.
All right, Marsha.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening. To subscribe to the podcast, visit 2usfiberadventures.com.
Join us on our adventures on Ravelry and Instagram. I am Better in Motion, and Kelly is 100 Projects.
Until next time, we're the 2Us
doing our part for World Fleece.